Welcome to this video on the second order functional model, one of a series of videos on transactional analysis concepts. This video assumes a familiarity with the first order structural model. If you are not familiar with that model, please take a look at our video on that subject. The second order functional model can be used to analyse our personality in more detail than the first order model, specifically by examining our external behaviour. In dividing our ego states according to what we say and do, it shows how we use our ego states. As in other versions of the ego state model, in the second order functional model the adult ego state remains undivided. The parent ego state, however, is divided into controlling parent, sometimes known as critical parent, and nurturing parent, then divided again into positive and negative versions of each. Similarly, the child ego state is divided into adapted child and free child, and then into positive and negative versions of each. To repeat, in the second order functional model, the adult ego state remains undivided. It involves behaviour that reflects a rational, adult response to the situation faced in the here and now. As an example of this, Claire, a company manager, is engaged in the day-to-day running of her department. She speaks to members of a team, rationally and calmly, asking them to perform certain tasks. As she does so, her body language is relaxed and attentive. If we observed Claire for some time, we could see that this behaviour shows that she is in her adult ego state. When in our controlling parent ego state, our behaviour shows that we are copying the instructions, rules and criticism we observed from parent figures during childhood. We are in our positive controlling parent ego state when the parent figure influence being recalled is coming from a beneficial, I'm okay, you're okay position, where we regard the person with whom we are communicating with positive intent. Continuing with the previous example, Claire is addressing her team. We've got a big week coming up. Get here on time, work hard and meet your targets, and we can get through this. Her words and her confident, positive body language show that though she is giving orders, she is doing so with genuine regard for her team. Therefore, an observer would see that she is in a positive controlling parent ego state. A negative controlling parent ego state results from a parent figure influence that does not have genuine regard for the person being addressed. It comes from a one-up position of I'm okay, you're not okay, and involves the discounting, the putting down, of the recipient. In our example, Claire is under pressure from her superiors due to one of her staff members being constantly late for work. When the staff member is late again, Claire confronts her, wagging her finger as she does so. You're late again. I'm sick of you messing up and making us all look bad. In my office, now. Claire's discounting of a staff member from a one-up position, along with her confrontational body language, suggests that she is in negative controlling parent. When in our nurturing parent ego state, we display caring behaviour copied from childhood parent figures. We are in positive nurturing parent when we display caring behaviour motivated by a genuine positive intent towards the person being cared for. This is not from a one-up position, but from a position of I'm okay, you're okay, where both parties are equal. Continuing with the example of Claire, she has a staff member who is struggling with his workload. Talking to him, she asks, "Is there anything I can do to help?" and gives a warm, open smile. Her genuine, well-meaning question and her inclusive, friendly body language indicate that she is in a positive, nurturing parent ego state. We are in negative nurturing parent when we display behaviour copied from parent figures that seems caring, but in fact comes from a position of perceived superiority. A one-up position of I'm okay, you're not okay, where the helper discounts or puts down the person being helped. Often this can involve help not being offered, but forced onto the person being helped, so they feel that their autonomy, their ability to make their own choices about themselves, has been reduced. In our example, Claire has another staff member to help, a new trainee who can't seem to stop making mistakes. Seeing that the trainee is struggling again, Claire walks over to her and says, "Come on, stop messing around. Go and take a break. When you come back, I'll show you what to do so you can get it right." Claire's words and her dismissive body language, along with her discounting of the trainee's ability to choose whether to accept help, show that she is in her negative nurturing parent ego state. As children, we learn that to get what we want from those in authority over us, we must respond to their rules and commands in certain ways. As adults, we often replay our childhood responses or adaptations to the rules set by parent figures. When we do this, we are in our adapted child ego state. This is the case whether we are responding to the rules set by people around us or by wider society. These adapted child responses can either be to follow these rules or to rebel against them. When in positive adapted child, we positively respond to rules in ways that enhance our journey through life, whether that means following rules or refusing to do so. Returning to our example, Claire has been asked to take on extra unpaid responsibility at work. She agrees, as she understands that by doing so, she will be first in line for the next promotion available. In agreeing to do so in a willing, open manner, we can see that, as Claire has responded positively to the rules of her workplace in a way that will benefit her, she is in her positive adapted child ego state. Another example of positive adapted child ego state is when Claire refuses to cover up fraud at her company. While she is being rebellious towards her superiors and refusing to follow an order, she is also considering the consequences of covering up the fraud and unconsciously recalling the influential parent figure that taught her to do the right thing and impressed on her that wrongdoers always get punished. This places her firmly in a positive adapted child ego state, as she is responding to rules in a way that benefits her in the long term. When in negative adapted child, we recall childhood parent figures in responding to rules in ways that are damaging to us. This could involve following rules in ways no longer beneficial to us as adults, or needlessly rebelling against rules in ways which will ultimately harm us. To illustrate the negative adapted child ego state, we can use the example of Claire going into work when she feels ill. She is following the rules, in her competitive workplace having time off is frowned upon, but doing so in a way that is harmful to her, as it is likely she will end up becoming more ill as a result. A further example is when Claire, while driving to get to a meeting she's late for, has been pulled over by a police officer. Rather than accepting the speeding ticket, she argues with the officer. Since this is likely to not only make her later, but may also mean the officer could take more serious action, she is reacting to rules in a way more likely to harm her, and is therefore in a negative adapted child ego state. In contrast to adapted child, the free child ego state involves the recalling of the carefree behaviour we display when we pay no attention to parent figure rules or commands. We are not following them, rebelling against them, or ignoring them. We simply do not consider them. We are in positive free child when this carefree, enjoyable behaviour has a positive effect on us, usually by increasing our sense of well-being. As an example of this, on a day off, Claire has decided to take her dog for a walk in the park. As she enjoys the sunny day and throws a ball for her dog to fetch, she is having a good time without any regard to parent figure rules or commands. She is in her positive free child ego state. The negative free child ego state, on the other hand, involves carefree behaviour that, though it seems enjoyable, has a negative effect on us, especially in the long term. In transactional analysis terms, we can say that the negative consequences of the behaviour are greater than the stroke gain from it. To illustrate this, after a particularly stressful morning at work, Claire decides to have lunch out of the office in a local bar. There, having enjoyed a glass of wine, she has decided to have a few more after she has finished her food. Though in indulging herself she has certainly been in a free child ego state, we can see that it is negative, as her behaviour will certainly have a negative effect on her performance when, and if, she returns to work, and this could have consequences. When analysing personality using the ego state model, however, assessing behaviour is only part of the story. The internal parts of our personality, our feelings and thoughts, are addressed by the second-order structural model. The second-order structural model and the first-order structural model are dealt with in other videos. Please check our channel for more and subscribe if you'd like to be notified when new videos are uploaded.